Welcome back. Gregg Perry here, and we're going to be again at Arts in Bloom at number 22 at 68 North Main Street in Woodstown. And as we said in the previous video, we will be reproducing some of George Hollingshead's mirrors. He was an 18th century clockmaker in the Woodstown, the only one of the town. Plus he also did a series of mirrors, or as they call, looking glass. And our theme for Arts in Bloom this year is Through the Looking Glass, so I think it's appropriate. So a looking glass is essentially, it's a mirror. And we just want to explain some things here. The first process is we have to create the molding before this square rectangle is put together. We take a traditional 18th century wooden molding plane, and it has the profile here, and it has the cutter has the profile. And we literally have a piece of wood strapped down, and we're physically driving the molding plane through the wood to get the profile for our mirror frame. Once it's done, I take a saw. Let me get a saw here. I take a dovetail saw or a back saw. This is a dovetail saw. And literally I cut the miters by hand. And once I have 4 pieces done, the proper dimensions, I'm going to use the table saw now. It wouldn't have been the period, but I'm going to use a table saw. And I'm going to keep the piece up on its diagonal like this and run it through the blade. And I'm going to run it through the blade 4 times, each of the corners. And what I'm doing is that I'm putting a saw kerf in, and then I'm going to fill in with a very thin spline, and that's going to really aid and abet holding these corners together so the miters don't open. And this will be together for hundreds of years, literally. And the wood we're making all our mirrors out for this Arts in Bloom are going to be tiger maple. Okay? So we actually have 9 different size mirrors that we're going to be making and have these available for the public to buy when you're there. And if we run out, you can order them. That'll be fine. So here I'm just showing you 3 different sizes of mirrors. Now, these are not just square mirrors. These are called Chippendale looking glasses. Chippendale or Queen Anne. Over here is the fretwork of the top. Here's some of the 2 smaller pieces. Again, this is all cut out by hand. And it's cut with a fret saw or a coping saw. You put a jeweler's blade in this. You're literally going to draw your pattern, hold on the side of the workbench, and you're going to cut this pattern out and move your piece of wood around to meet the up and down cutting of the saw blade. And once you're cut out, you're going to take a file and go around and smooth it with a file and then with sandpaper. So if the top fret is going to be placed just on this frame, this is the frame for it, we need to cut a groove or slot, or actually it's called a dado in woodworking terminology, in the top. And to do that, and I'm not going to do it, but I'm going to just show you here, we would run this through the saw blade and make 2 passes. But the day of the event, we'll be actually putting some of these together, and again, there will be some already together. And let's assume I made a cut here, and then this would snugly fit inside, and then I have to trim off the edges of the fretwork so they're flush with the outside of the frame. And a snug fit with a little bit of glue, an alhide or resin or white glue, and let it dry for 20 minutes to an hour, and everything is good. And at that point, we need to cut glass, and I'll actually be cutting some mirror glass. The mirror glass is going to go into the groove, and I'm going to take some old pine, some 19th century pine, cut it the size of the table saw, and inset the back, and you'll have a mirror ready to go. And then the mirror gets stained, and a couple thin coats of shellac and a nice butcher's paste wax or bowling alley wax will finish the job off. But this was just the introduction. On our next video, I'm actually going to be cutting the grooves in, and we'll continue with assembling a few of these mirrors, okay? Or looking glasses. Thanks for watching.